Okay.
Hi guys, welcome to A Tea with Li. Today we are honored and with great pleasure to invite Master of the Tea, Mr. Lochan from India, to share his story about the tea and his great friendship between his tea business and the Chinese partners as a bridge to communicate between India and China. So welcome, Mr. Lochan.
Dacha, I'm Rajiv Lochan from India, and I'm very happy to be communicating with you people. It's my love for China and the Chinese teas, which has brought me in contact with so many friends from China, especially Mr. Li.
Thank you. It's such an honor. Okay, so
Sure.
Can you share with us a little story about you and the tea? How you come to the tea business and how you develop your business as well?
You see, when I just completed my studies and I was just 20 years old, one of my uncle introduced me to a tea company, which is a big tea company from India. And I started working in it as an assistant. And I learned tea in South India and in North India, Assam, Darjeeling, so many places for about 23 years. And then one day I left the job and I started my own export business. In 2003, there was a big disease in Beijing, that's SARS. And it was difficult for people to come from India because of that problem. So 2004, China invited us to see that everything is okay and we can come and we can have the interactions. So they did a exhibition in Beijing. It was organized by China Tea Company, and I met my partner, Mrs. Xiaozhuan, in Beijing. That's how our cooperation started, and then we did a lot of things. And then I traveled in China from 2004 to 2019 quite much. I went to all the tea growing provinces like to Zhejiang, to Fujian, to Hunan, to Hebei, then to Sichuan, and lastly, a lot of travel in Yunnan. I went to almost all the prefectures growing tea, like Sichuan, Linchang, Dahong, Baoshan, Pu'er, and I am very lucky. I feel so lucky that I have been to so many growing areas and I have seen tea making very closely. This made me do some experiment on my own tea garden, which is in Bihar. Bihar is a new tea growing area and we have planted tea there. But the tea bushes are Assam tea bushes. That's the big leaf or what you call dai. Dai is not supposed to be a very good material for making tea. It's normally the Chinese bush or what you call shai. But then I and my daughter and my wife, we did a lot of experiment and we developed a tea called Black Fusion, which is a black tea. And this almost tastes like Dahong Pao of Fujian. We did a lot of experiment with smoking it or making it with the charcoal or the coal which is coming from the shallow mines, which gives it a special taste. And that tea has been very well accepted in Europe and in China, Japan, Australia. So that's how we have had a bridge between India and China. And then we are exporting a lot of milk tea, Naicha, to China. And people are very used to this during the winters because that hot, sweet tea, which goes and then warms the lungs, is very effective during the cold season, especially in the upper half, like the Jiangbei, or the top of the Yangtze is always very cold. So milk tea has become a fashion there. I feel very happy when I talk about all of these things and this long period, about 15 years when I roamed in China, and then I saw, learned things and did this. And at last, when the present president of China, Xi Jinping, when he was coming to India, the China radio shot a small documentary about 10 minutes. No, it was 17 minutes. And it was about my travels and my partner and the tea which we made and the way the exchanges between India and China happened. I feel so happy. And I'm so thankful to you that you have brought me across to your friends so that we can communicate and we can exchange each other's. So this is the tea which we make, and I'm just drinking it now. Drinking it for you. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. So what kind of tea you are drinking right now?
This is the tea which we make on our plantation.
Yeah.
That's the Doke Black Fusion.
Doke, like a Doke black tea, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Same. Doke is the name of that river which is flowing through our garden. And you can see all this activity on our website called Doke, D-O-K-E, Doke.com.
Perfect.
And thank you.
So later I'm going to share the link of your website and also the name of the brand of your tea. And first of all, thank you so much for sharing your story and how you started to join the tea industry and how your passion to keep you moving forward and the great friendship you have built between China and India by the way of tea. You traveled almost around China to see the tea plantation. And so if I may ask, what kind of Chinese tea you like the best?
When it comes to liking the Chinese teas, I have got two mindsets. One is the health, and I really like pu'er teas. And my own personal drink is shawpu'er.
Shawpu'er, okay.
Yeah, because it's very healthy and it keeps almost all the reactions of the body, like the heart, the joints, and then the warmth of the body, and the digestion. It is very important for food. And when it comes to other teas, I like Longjing, Shihu Longjing, and I also like Huangshan, Huangya, and I like Dahongpa. Dahongpa is my own brand, sort of own brand, because when I was trying to trace the travels of one Britisher, that's Robert Fortune, the man who brought the tea planting material to India to plant tea when British wanted to do tea trade from India instead of China, because Chinese teas were very expensive, according to them, and then they wanted to make more profit. So they brought the tea material from Wuishan, and this man called Robert Fortune, he brought those tea bushes, tea implements, and some tea makers also. That was around 1840s. So I went to Wuishan and people took me, and then a documentary was made about this thing. And then again in 2018, there was another very nice documentary which was made by the CCTV, that was Chungo Mei Li. There was a competition, and then I represented this Dahongpa, that how this tea compares with one of the best teas of the world, Darjeeling. Darjeeling is a very famous tea, and now a lot of people are enjoying Darjeeling tea in China. And I take this thing, I take the pleasure of taking this tea to China and then showing it to people in China, and then explaining it in various tea fairs and a lot of exhibitions, a lot of conferences which I attended. And then this Darjeeling tea is quite famous in China and people enjoy. So we compared Dahongpa with Darjeeling high-grown tea, because Weishan is also high-grown. And we were having the seminars to the... But my travel did not stop in China. After that, I visited Taiwan to study another version of Tiguan, the Fujian Tiguan and the Taiwan Tiguan, just comparison, so that we can compare the Darjeeling, Indian Darjeeling and the Nepal high-grown Himalayan teas. And then I visited Japan, almost everywhere, wherever they grow tea in Shizuoka and other areas, Kyoto and all. And then we established an office there. Office means a selling system, and then my partner, she explains and then she spreads the knowledge of Indian teas in Japan. And then we did something with Korea, because the heart of tea growing area is basically China. And then some tea was taken to Taiwan, later on to Japan, later on to Korea. These are the natural tea growing areas. The British brought it to India, to Sri Lanka, to Nepal, to Bangladesh. Of course, Bangladesh is a part of India at that time. And then lastly, it has been taken to Africa. A lot of tea is growing in Africa, now in Vietnam, Thailand. So tea has spread. And after all of this, now tea has started going to America and to Europe, a lot of countries in Europe, like they are growing some tea in England, some tea in Germany, some tea in France, some tea in Portugal, some tea in Italy. And now they're introducing tea in Canada also, very small areas. But then it is growing in Canada and a lot of places in South America also. It has gone to Australia, New Zealand. So almost everywhere you will find tea there these days. Now it is overproduction, and then the problems of pricing, small growers, a lot of things. So more and more conferences are needed to just discuss about all these things. And presently, a white tea conference is happening in Fudik. I was also invited, but travel from India has become quite difficult. So I did not go.
Yeah.
I really enjoy China. I enjoy Chinese teas, and I enjoy my friendship with China. That's very important. I really love China.
Thank you for sharing us the great history and also the geography with the tea plantation. It's quite amazing that now around the world they would like to plant, their own tea in their own region, which is quite inspiring. And so you already traveled around the world and to try different teas, and also you do your own experiment to make your own tea. So if I may ask, so what make your tea unique? So the people can enjoy the uniqueness by drinking your tea.
See, this tea, we pluck very fine, and we pluck with hands only, no machines. We do the fermenting in this bamboo nanglos, and then we do the hand rolling, and then we do the fermentation, and then drying with the hot air. No coal, mainly, because coal gives little bit of those sulfur gases or bad odors. And this tea has come out very sweet, maybe because of very high altitude water which is flowing through our small rivulet. It's a very, very sweet tea. You can compare this taste with either Dahungpa or some teas from Yunnan, like Dianhong.
Dianhong, yeah.
It's very similar to Dianhong. And people in India are really loving it. And you can do multiple infusions. It is not that it will give only once. You keep on brewing it and brewing it and brewing it, and up to 10 times, no problem, till the color lasts. And it is remaining just sweet. And we did some circulation of our tea through My Tea Pal. This is a gentleman who is from Chengdu, and he does a lot of tea tastings all over the world. He has got a very good circulation of his all the Zoom meetings all over the world. They also liked it. And in China, I was in Xiamen Tea Fair in October, a couple of years ago. And this man was amazed by the color of that Doke Black Fusion. And when he tasted, he really liked it. And then after that, I was encouraged. And then I did a lot of experiment. I took it almost everywhere. And then I do the infusion in different waters and different pots and different ways, like little longer steeping, little shorter steeping, little more hot water, little less hot water. And then we have come to certain standards. And I find most of the places, when they do this serious testing, they love this tea. And that's how I am selling it and then getting encouraged and then producing a little more. But I don't want to produce anything which is cheap or which is not good. If we are doing something, we should do very well, very fine, very nicely, with a lot of study, research, and own involvement. Loving it.
Wonderful. Thank you. And so this is the uniqueness and how you make your tea fine, the fine tea, the great tea. So if I may ask you that we, all of us, we are enjoying tea, and we would like to see and also share the tea with more and more friends and people around the world. So what is the problem in this tea industry? So when we fix this problem, maybe we can moving forward more smoothly. So what is your opinion on the problem of in tea industry right now?
See, the problem in the tea industry is overproduction. When people came to know that tea is getting good prices, everybody started planting tea in India to the areas which were little higher, which were well drained. It was in Assam, it was in Bengal, it was in Bihar, it was in neighboring Bangladesh, it was in Nepal, and the production of tea increased so high in Africa. Africa is an additional land, thousands and thousands of acres of jungles they cleared. The soil was good, production is very high. So the overproduction. At the same time, coffee is also making big push because there are a lot of coffee also. And in the beverage industry, you know that there are a lot of fruit juices, other things are coming, some synthetic things like Coca-Cola or so many other fizz drinks like, those. China has got their own brands, and then Western world has got their own brands. Then a lot of RTDs, ready to drink, those bottle teas are there. So much of variety and so many things in addition to the traditional way of brewing and enjoying it through the tea houses. So when it happens and you have got more production, then the prices starts going down. Undercutting happens. It's very natural. And that has created problem for tea industry, that the high quantity tea growing areas like India or Sri Lanka or Nepal or Bangladesh are facing very difficult times. Like these days, you can't reduce the expense. You can't reduce the price. You can't reduce the labor wage. You can't reduce the benefits, which has to go along with the labor wages and labor benefits. So if you can't reduce the cost, you have to increase the sale price or the realization. And sale price comes from the quality. But when production is too much, you cannot help. China is doing a lot of advertisement, a lot of tea education. With that tea education, at least people realize that this is a good tea. It compares very well, so they go for it. They buy it. But a lot of other countries like Kenya, they just simply produce. They don't have any mechanism of promoting it. They don't promote. They're just selling it to some very big companies and then selling it cheap, cheap, cheap. So we have to be very careful about the production and consumption trends, and we have to control the areas growing tea.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Master Lochan Laoro, to give us such a great perspective on tea by your own way. So you have been in tea industry for more than 20 years. It's the master of the master. We are so appreciate. And once again, it's great tea talk with you to listen up your story and the story behind you and also how you build the bridge as between China tea industry and the Indian industry, and also with the other countries. And I would like to toast with you and to say thank you, 谢谢, for your great works. And I'm looking forward to see you in person somewhere, and also to enjoy your tea. And also welcome to visit China at some time and to enjoy my tea as well. Okay? So,
谢谢，谢谢，谢谢。
谢谢。
I have to just tell you that I started in 75, so it is almost like 50 years in tea, and I enjoy it.
50 years, wow.
50 years, 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
This is for China, Shisha.
Yeah. And for Indian too, for our tea. 谢谢老罗。
谢谢。
那么谢谢大家呢，非常开心，然后和老罗进行了交流。再见，老罗。
拜拜，拜拜，
拜
再见，再见，再见，再见。